Good afternoon. I will now call to order the Paramount City Council special meeting. And actually, Councilmember Claire-Stallings, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Heidi, roll call of members, please.
Councilmember Lemons.
Here.
Councilmember Olmos. Councilmember Claire-Stallings. Here. Vice Mayor Delgadillo. Present. Mayor Aguayo.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Olmos. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lemons.
Yes.
Councilmember Claire-Stallings.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo.
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo.
Yes. Okay. John, is there any public comments?
No, there are not, Madam Mayor.
Okay. So we will now go into closed session. John, will you please announce the closed session?
Absolutely, Madam Mayor. We are now going in a closed session conference with real property negotiators. According to Government Code 54956.8, the address is 16493 Paramount Boulevard. The agency negotiator is the city manager. Negotiating parties is Paramount Saw LLC, and under negotiation are the price and terms of payment.
So,
Test,
oh,
test.
there it
Okay,
goes.
Test, 1, 2, test. Okay, we're on.
Okay. Mr. Kavanaugh, will you please report back from our closed session?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. The City Council did conduct a duly authorized closed session under the Brown Act. The item for closed session was conference with real property negotiators. This is pursuant to Government Code 54956.8. The address in question is 16493 Paramount Boulevard. The agency negotiator is city manager. Negotiating parties are Paramount Saw, LLC. Under negotiation were price in terms of payment. No decision has been made at this particular time that requires publication, Madam Mayor, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. I will now go ahead and adjourn our special meeting, and we will go ahead and take about a 5-minute break before we start our next meeting. I'd like to call our City Council regular meeting to order. See, we're going to go ahead and have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Mayor Delgadillo, please.
Everyone, your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Heidi, roll call of council members, please.
Councilmember Lemons,
Here.
Councilmember Olmos, Councilmember Quer Stallings,
Present.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo,
Present.
Mayor Aguayo.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Brenda Olmos.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lemons,
Yes.
Councilmember Quer Stallings,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo,
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo.
Yes. Now, if my colleagues will please join me at the podium for presentations. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're celebrating some very special members of our Paramount community. To begin, we are getting a head start on our Education Month recognitions. June is Education Month in Paramount. We are proclaiming it a bit early because we have so many teachers, employees, and students in the Paramount Unified School District to honor. So we are splitting these presentations between tonight and our next meeting on June 13th, which will be held at Progress Park Plaza. So would any members here from the Paramount Unified School District Board of Education please join us? Hi. We are going to recognize the District Employees of the Year. These include the Teachers of the Year from each campus, the Classified Employees of the Year from every campus and the district office, and the Administrator and Support Provider of the Year. All of these exceptional individuals are completely dedicated to our students. We appreciate your creativity, professionalism, and what you do for our community. As our City Manager, John Moreno, calls everyone's name, please come up for a photo. Then at the end, we'll go ahead and take some group photos.
Great. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Are we ready to go?
Ready to go.
All righty. You want to take your position right up there in front of the podium? Okay, we're going to start with the teachers. We're going to go just school by school. For the Teacher of the Year, Claudia Cristolatori. The Classified Employee of the Year for Alondra, who's not with us tonight, is Ernestina Flores. Moving over to Buena Vista High School, the Classified Employee of the Year, Craig Graham.
Done.
Great. That's right, I'm sorry. We're going to pause and take a picture with each person from the school, from each school. So let's do Alondra Middle first. Sorry. Thank you, Yesenia, for correcting me. So this is Alondra Middle School. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, now Buena Vista School, Craig Graham for Classified Employee of the Year. And also from Buena Vista High, the Teacher of the Year who can't be with us tonight, Luis Ayala Jr. Moving over to Collins, unfortunately, the teacher and classified employee can't be here, but I'll announce the name. Lagia Elena Diaz is the teacher of the year, and the classified employee of the year is Consuelo Avila. Moving over to Gaines, who's with us tonight, the classified employee of the year, Esli Gomez. And the teacher of the year from Gaines this year is Ann Juarez, who can't be with us tonight. Early childhood education campus, neither the teacher or the classified employee could be with us tonight, but I'll announce their name. Diana Mesqua is the teacher of the year, and classified employee is Alejandra Figueroa. Now moving over to Hollydale, once again, the teacher of the year and classified employee of the year could not be with us. Teacher is Tawny Bradley, and the classified employee is Minerva Valle. Okay, now to Jackson School, the teacher of the year, Marisol Mejia. And the classified employee of the year from Jackson is Alejandra Macias, who can't be with us tonight. Moving over to Jefferson School, the classified employee of the year with us tonight is Michelle Carrillo. And the teacher of the year from Jefferson, who can't be with us, is Marlene Morales. And next we have three schools who can't be with us tonight. First is Keppel, teacher of the year is Cindy Sang, and the classified employee is Nicole McKinney. Lincoln School, teacher of the year is Christina Nunez, and classified employee is Pilar Segovia. And the Los Cerritos, teacher of the year is Claudia Perez, and classified employee is Maria De La Torre. Okay, now with us from Moakler Elementary, the teacher of the year, Oscar Loza. The classified employee at Moakler was Lizette Quintero. All right, Odyssey STEM Academy, classified employee of the year is Sandra Gaitan. Sandra. And the teacher of the year at Odyssey STEM, who can't be with us tonight, is Angelica Garcia. At Paramount Adult School with us tonight is classified employee of the year, Mina Olmos. Mina. And teacher of the year at Paramount Adult School couldn't join us tonight is Olakemi Lalud Davies. Paramount Parks Middle School is represented tonight with both of them here. Yay. We have Teacher of the Year, Pamela Rayana Fernandez. And Classified Employee, Maria Zapeta. Why don't you come up both and take a picture. All right, Paramount High School can't be with us tonight. Teacher of the Year was Keith Louis, and classified employee is Olive Fukufuka. Moving over to Paramount High School West Campus, with us tonight is classified employee of the year, Rami Jimenez. Rami? And teacher of the year at the West Campus who can't be with us is Cynthia Jimenez. Wow. Moving over to Roosevelt School, classified employee of the year, Pedro Garcia. And teacher of the year who can't be with us tonight is Laura Black. The next two schools, neither the teacher or the classified employee couldn't be with us tonight. We'll start with Tanner. The teacher is Irma Guzman, and the classified employee is Yvonne Sanchez. And Word School, the teacher was Myra Dominguez, and classified employee was Laura Soto. Over at Zamboni School, classified employee of the year with us tonight is Teresa Gonzalez. Teresa. The teacher of the year who can't be with us is Ilka Joragi. Over at the district office, the classified employee of the year is Cindy Sedano. And from the Maintenance and Operations Department, classified employee of the year, Jose Gonzalez. Very popular. It's great. Oh, is he? Funny. The next two employees can't be with us tonight, but I'll read their names. Support Provider of the Year, Adriana Larios, and Classified Manager of the Year, Ofelia Larios. And last but certainly not least, the Administrator of the Year, the Myrna Morales. And that's all we have for now, Madam Mayor, but we're going to invite everybody back up here for a group photo from behind the podium. So if you all want to step in.
Vice Mayor. No, we might. Can you see that? Yes. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Sorry. One more.
Thank you, everybody. If everybody can kindly take their seats, we're going to go ahead and continue. 2 weeks from now, we will recognize the PEP scholarship winners, the top 25 Paramount High School students, top 5 PHS volunteers and Momentum students, the PHS valedictorian and salutatorian, and the top 10 Odyssey STEM Academy students. Now, we are proclaiming May as National Building Safety Month. This recognition reinforces the need to adopt modern, updated building codes and thanks the professionals who make sure our buildings are secure. Building codes are the best way to protect homes, schools, offices, factories, stores, and more. The theme for National Building Safety Month this year is, "It starts with you," because everyone plays a part in this effort. We have an excellent building and safety section in our planning department, and it is very busy. In 2022, for instance, 844 permits were issued for things like building, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, grading, and sewer. An amazing 4,280 inspections were performed. I'd like to invite our building and safety manager, Johnny Reitmer, up to accept this proclamation. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hand that over to you. And you're going to hang on. Everyone in our building and safety department works day in and day out to keep Paramount residents, workers, and visitors safe. We thank them for the excellent job they do each and every day. We're going to get our picture. We're going to get our picture. Okay, now we will go ahead and take our seats, and once we are seated, we do have a short video to share showing our Public Works Department in action, or showing off our Public Works Department. We hope you enjoy it.
Hello, my name is Henry Gallarzo. I work for City of Paramount Public Works Department, Roads Division. As soon as we get a work order, we fill them especially. Not only that, but we're constantly driving the city because we are a Roads Division, so we're constantly scanning the road for potholes, and as soon as we see them, we fill them up. What causes a pothole is a number of things, but one of them be heavy traffic, especially these heavy trucks you see going by. They cause cracks in the asphalt, and the water seeps in and just undermines it, and then just turns into basically alligator, and it just starts coming apart. Also, another way to report city issues, or especially potholes, would be through our Public Work app through the City of Paramount. Well, you could report a pothole through our Public Works office, and just call the office directly and make a work order, and we'll get right on it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. Now, this video actually, for those of you that are on social media, was shared not just on our page, but other cities were sharing this video, and residents. And I'm sure that, Public Works heard that other cities were, other residents from other cities were saying, there's a pothole on this street and that one, and I think the reply was usually like, well, contact your city. But it has been extremely popular, and our roads are beautiful. I mean, they really are. So this brings us to the end of tonight's public presentations. We thank everyone for being here and working together to make Paramount strong. Okay, John, is there any City Council public comment updates?
No, Madam Mayor, there aren't.
Okay, and do we have any public comment speaker cards?
No, we do not.
Okay, so do I have a motion for the consent calendar?
So moved.
Roll call, Heidi, please.
Councilmember Lemons? Yes. Councilmember Quer-Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo?
Yes. Okay, on to new business. First up is an update on the Alfresco Restaurant Patio Program. May we please have the staff report?
Yes, Madam Mayor. When the pandemic hit, many cities and counties allowed restaurants to set up temporary patios for dining, as you recall, and we did this the same as well. Then, when the pandemic started to subside, these temporary patios were eliminated, and we made a commitment in Paramount to restaurants to allow permanent patios to be constructed wherever they work. They may not work in all cases, so we even put forth some funding through our ARPA dollars to help with this effort. So with us here tonight to go over, to give us an update on the project is Kevin Chun, our Special Projects Manager, who will walk you through this item. Kevin?
Thank you, John. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. It's really great being back here in Paramount and to serve as your Special Projects Manager. It's an honor to help you develop this program and to work with our local restaurants. It's programs like these that make Paramount's reputation as a city that's always striving to provide creative services and solutions for its residents and businesses. Oops. This program, the Alfresco Dining Program, was born out of necessity in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. We believe this program will help local restaurants continue to be successful in this post-pandemic period. The program will help replace some temporary outdoor dining patios that the city allowed at the height of the pandemic with permanent outdoor dining patios. The program has been developed and will be managed in a similar fashion as the commercial rehabilitation program, where federal funds are used for designing and constructing improvements on commercial properties managed by city staff. $500,000 was appropriated for this program in the current budget, and about $100,000 is expected to be used for each restaurant project, $40,000 for the design, and $60,000 for construction. And just to provide some background on how we got here and why the Alfresco Dining Program is needed today, let's take a brief look back. And I apologize if this brings back memories of a very difficult time, but as we all know, the COVID-19 virus created a worldwide public health emergency and pandemic that resulted in more than 1.1 million deaths in the United States and over 100,000 deaths in California. As a result of California's stay-at-home order in March 2020, which was intended to protect the public, businesses struggled financially, and restaurants were only allowed to open for takeout, delivery, and later for outdoor dining. Here in Paramount, unfortunately, our businesses were not immune to the effects of the pandemic, and many faced financial difficulties or were forced to close. In the face of this hard time, the city did what it could to assist these businesses. For restaurants in particular, in the summer of 2020, the city suspended some of its restrictions and allowed 18 restaurants to have temporary outdoor dining patios on public sidewalks and in their parking lots. This proved to be helpful for restaurants to keep their businesses open and continue to serve customers, and also to keep their employees working and to pay their rent. With the winding down of the Paramount 2 years later, with the winding down of the pandemic 2 years later, the city worked with these restaurants to remove the temporary dining patios, but still wanted to provide a helping hand. The city received $19.1 million in funding through the American Rescue Plan Act, also known as ARPA, which was initially used to make small grants to 4 restaurants, and then later $500,000 again was budgeted for this program. Earlier this year, we contacted several restaurants regarding the new Alfresco Dining Program, including those that were previously allowed temporary outdoor dining patios. Many expressed an interest in participating in this program, and currently we're working towards projects with 4 restaurants that you can see on this list: Stinking Crawfish, Casa Adalita, Casa Gamino, and El Tapatio Restaurant and Grill. We weren't able to accommodate all restaurants wishing to participate, as some couldn't meet city requirements. Also, some restaurants declined to be part of the program because they didn't want to lose valuable parking spaces needed for their customers, or because they couldn't take on the additional responsibility for maintaining more dining space. Key considerations for a project to be viable are the safety of diners, maintaining ADA access, having adequate on-site parking, proper drainage, patios at off-street locations only, and making sure property owners agree to accept the improvements. At least one other restaurant could also be included in this program, but that one and any additional ones will have to satisfy these basic requirements. And here is a location map showing the 4 restaurants that we're currently working with. As you can see, all are located on either Alondra Boulevard, or Rosecrans Avenue. In terms of the process for bringing these outdoor dining projects to fruition, first, the city contracted with the firm of Studio 111 to complete the conceptual and final designs for each restaurant project. As I mentioned, we're working individually with each of the 4 restaurants to keep them informed and to allow them to have input on design matters. Each project separately will need approval from both the Planning Commission and Design Review Board. And like typical restaurant projects, each of these projects will require a conditional use permit, which will include requirements and restrictions on things like hours of operation, alcohol sales, security, maintenance, compliance with all laws, and etc. But since this is a new project and will introduce a new type of development in the city, there will also be other conditions included in the CUP, like insurance for the outdoor dining patios, indemnification of the city, provisions for short and long-term maintenance, provisions for restaurant use only for using the patio, assumption that the ownership of the property will assume these improvements as their own, and a provision that will allow for the removal of these patios should there be a lapse in use. Then, once the Planning Commission and Design Review Board approves each project, staff will then solicit construction bids, review proposals, select a contractor to work on behalf of and select a contractor to work on behalf of the restaurants. Again, this will be a similar process to the city's commercial rehabilitation program. Also, for each project, the lowest construction bidder will be chosen. Prevailing wage requirements will be necessary for construction because ARPA is a federal funding source. Next, staff will bring each construction contract to the City Council for your consideration and approval. Upon approval, the city's consultant, Studio 111, will perform construction management for each project. Then, as contractors reach milestones in the construction process, they will invoice the city for their work, and the city will pay the contractors directly. So with this process, the city will manage the projects from the initial design phase through completion of construction. The restaurants will have some involvement working with staff, but they won't have to take on the technical coordination and management responsibilities of the project. And this is the first of our 4 projects, Stinkin' Crawfish, located at 8009 Alondra Boulevard. This is the west-facing view of the restaurant. The outdoor dining patio will be where the current temporary patio is located now. Stinkin' Crawfish is the project that's furthest along and will be the first to move forward. The project design is complete and will be going to the Planning Commission and Design Review Boards in the coming months. This project will be different from the others as the property owner completed the design on their own and will hire their own construction contractor. Once the project is completed, the city will reimburse the property owner with program funds. Next is Casa Adelita at 8063 Alondra Boulevard. During the pandemic, Casa Adelita had their temporary dining patio in their parking lot immediately east of the restaurant. However, with this program, they've requested that the permanent outdoor dining patio be located in the landscape setback on the west side of the restaurant, shown here on this slide. This location will preserve parking spaces and will be a safer option than in their parking lot. The third project is Casa Gamino at 8330 Alondra Boulevard. This picture in the slide shows the south side of the restaurant where the temporary dining patio was located. The same area will be used for the permanent structure. While 3 to 4 parking spaces will be lost, The restaurant has access to an immediately adjacent parking lot through a long-standing agreement with Emmanuel Church. All other issues, including ADA access and ADA parking, will also be addressed. And the last restaurant to present is El Tapatio Restaurant and Grill at 7528 Rosecrans Avenue. This project will be a different concept than the others, as the new outdoor dining patio will be constructed on an existing patio area. This project will construct a permanent covering over the patio where the temporary covering is in place now, as shown on the slide. Because this is an existing patio, there's no issues with safety, parking, drainage, or ADA concerns. Next is a conceptual rendering of what a permanent outdoor dining patio could look like. As you can see, the typical features are an overhead covering. In this case, it has sail shades. It also includes crash-proof safety barriers to protect diners, a flooring platform, as well as aesthetic items like paint color, design patterns, and planters. Other features such as lighting and heating equipment could also be incorporated, but with an additional cost. Each outdoor dining patio will vary in size and could accommodate between 20 and 30 diners. This is another rendering showing the same patio structure, but with a full covering option. I'm not sure if you were able to see the difference there, so I'll go back one. And to the next one. This is the one with the full covering on top. And here is another option with the use of umbrellas instead of an overhead covering structure. And lastly, as I stated before, other restaurants could be included in this program, and we'll consider restaurants on a case-by-case basis to determine if city requirements can be met. But for now, the 4 restaurants I've covered will serve as test cases to measure the success of the program and to help determine whether additional budget resources could be considered. And that concludes my overview of the Alfresco Dining Program. Thank you again for allowing me to be part of the team and to work on this important program. And if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Do my colleagues have any questions or comments? Okay. Councilmember Lemons?
Is the program is zero cost to the restaurant?
That is correct. At this point, it is zero cost. However, if there are other features that each restaurant would like to include that may be above and beyond what we've designed, that could potentially come at their own cost. We've talked about that with each of the restaurants, and they know that. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see where we are with the budget and to see if we can't help with those items as well.
And this is probably more for you, John, but the original desire to keep the outdoor dining, wasn't that born out of a demand or desire by the restaurants because they didn't want to close down their outdoor dining? Or is this something that we're doing to change the face of outdoor dining? Or
It's a little bit of both. When this allows them to expand their footprint, obviously, so they can have more tables and more dining. So yes, it is their desire, but it was also our desire to have a more lively eateries in town. So for sure.
And along with that question, the expansion, I know that we had some issues. I know it's a different situation, but what is written into or part of the program for the maintenance of the outside tables? Like they weren't taken care of in a lot of the alfresco places. They were dirty.
Absolutely. Sure, that could be part of the conditional use permit, right, John?
Yes.
Yeah, the cleanliness.
It would be, yes.
How do you put that in? You're just responsible to keep it clean?
Absolutely, it can
We
be.
We would just put it in as a condition that they be maintained and that they be cleaned.
So if
if they're not doing it and we get a complaint, we can have code enforcement come and say they're in violation of the conditional
Isn't
use
that
permit.
like a normal condition though of anything anyway, or no?
No,
it needs
not,
to
I mean,
be
that's,
right?
could be a health department requirement, that it's up to the health department.
Now, whatever we can write in there to keep that enforcement up, because I know when it was happening during COVID, everybody was trying to say it was somebody else's
Right.
responsibility, and some of them got pretty bad. The $500,000, does that just cover these 4 projects?
It does.
So they're about $100,000 a
Well,
project?
no, actually, so these are the 4 projects that we have for now. Initially, we were hoping to have 5 projects to use the funds for. But if it turns out that we have some cost savings or can squeeze in, a 5th or a 6th project, we'll try to do that. But like I mentioned, to the extent there's success with this program, and to the extent the council would like to add more resources, the program could continue on.
And then the one project where, for the stinking crab, I know that different than the other projects, except for the one on Rosecrown, that's like a multi-unit facility there. And so is it the development company that we had to deal with? Because that is going to, of course, be taking away parking. I know we did it temporary for COVID, but from the other customers, the other restaurants that are there.
Right.
And is the assumption that the rest of them, John, are using the one in front of the Habit, the other restaurant?
Did you want to?
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah.
So with that project in particular, that is intended specifically for the Stinking Crawfish, that restaurant. So yes, we have been working with the property owner and their developer to do this project. So it's not intended to be a patio for the entire center. It's meant for that specific restaurant. So that's how we've
They were
envisioned
okay
it.
with that, huh? Just like targeting that one restaurant and
Yeah,
using some
yeah.
parking.
Because if you look at it, that patio would be on the east side of the
I know
building.
they're separate.
Yeah, and it's somewhat removed from the other restaurants in that area. The other restaurants, the Habit and Waba Grill, et cetera, they could use that outdoor dining patio that's there closer to the intersection of Paramount and Alondra.
And we also did a parking study, or they did a parking study, right, John? Before we allowed this?
Yes, so Steve Boss did do a parking study. That would be part of the conditional use permit. So he did a study over several days, calculating the use of parking. And at no time, even during the busiest time on a weekend, there were always approximately 25 parking places available. So taking away the parking for the outdoor patio area does not appear to be an issue based on this parking study.
And then my last question is, the restaurant that's got the existing patio, is that the one at the corner of Rosecrans and Paramount where the Jack in the Box?
Rosecrans and Garfield, actually.
Right.
It's the southeast corner. There's the dental office on the corner.
Old Farmers Market.
Yeah, the farmer's market.
Farmer's Market, and there's a restaurant, so it's on that side?
Yeah, it's in the back there. You know where the new self-storage,
Yes.
yeah, four-story, it's right next to that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not even familiar with that.
it's kind of tucked away in the back. So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's it.
patio
Thank
is.
you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
No, thank you.
No, we're fine. Thank you very much.
So this is an oral report, so no action needed. We're going to go ahead and continue. Okay, so now we have an amendment. Thank you, Kevin. Now we have an amendment to the American Rescue Plan Act Project Expenditure Plan. John, the report, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor. As you know, we received close to $19 million in ARPA funding a couple of years ago. Most of that went to the water fund, but we have also funded some pretty cool projects throughout the last couple of years. There are some changes at the federal level. We've all heard in the news about the debt limit restrictions that Congress is going through. So that's causing us to rethink how we want to allocate our remaining balance of ARPA funds. So to go through this with us, here's our Financial Services Manager, Mr. Anthony Martinez, who will walk you through this item. Anthony?
All righty. Thank you, John. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. As a recap, back in 2022, the City Council approved its expenditure plan of the American Rescue Plan Act, which encumbered $18 million in federal funding for eligible projects. This federal funding is intended to address the negative economic effects of the pandemic on businesses and governments. As time went on, staff needed to make some adjustments to meet the changes in our projects and costs. Recently, Congress has introduced several federal legislative initiatives that intend to take back any unobligated ARPA funds from states, counties, and cities. These federal initiatives are intended to address the national debt ceiling. However, clawing back these funds will jeopardize millions of dollars of local projects for public safety, infrastructure, and other community projects. As part of the spending guidelines, the Treasury Department allows ARPA recipients to set aside or establish an allowance of up to $10 million for government services. Now, given that provision, and to prevent a potential clawback of the city's ARPA allocation, staff intends to obligate the remaining unused ARPA funds toward the reimbursement of public safety expenditures. Typically, public safety operations are the largest expenditure for the city. For example, for FY24, public safety operations are expected to increase by $2 million, raising the public safety budget to $16 million. Directing ARPA funds toward the reimbursement of public safety operations would relieve our general fund of up to $10 million. This savings in our general fund would then be used to continue providing the same programs and projects as intended in the ARPA expenditure plan. This year, the city used ARPA funds for purchased water, WAL 16 expenses, and the SBA grant program, offering grants to 15 local businesses. So far, the largest ARPA expense has been for purchased water, which staff will discontinue purchasing water with ARPA funds because of a new funding source from the Water Resources Development Act. That is expected to support water infrastructure, plus the anticipated arrival of WAL 16 will decrease our need for purchased water. The relief in our general fund would also allow the city to amend the ARPA expenditure plan to potentially fund some noteworthy projects, such as $2 million for rent payments for 20 years for the proposed city museum rent at the Paramount Saul building, pending City Council review and approval, $550,000 for business attraction projects, and $250,000 for the All-American Lighting Control System. For this fiscal year, the unused funds of up to $10,000 will be used to reimburse the general fund for public safety expenditures. This one-time savings in the general fund will then be used for FY24 to fund the existing ARPA projects. With that, it is recommended that the City Council, 1, approve the amendment of the ARPA project expenditure plan, 2, reappropriate up to $10 million in unused funds to reimburse the general fund for public safety expenditures, and 3, allow the city manager to incorporate the plan in the FY24 proposed budget using general money funds. This concludes my presentation, and Assistant City Manager Andrew Villalpando and I would be more than happy to answer any questions council may have.
Thank you, Anthony. Is there any questions or comments?
I'll move the item.
A second. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Lemons.
Yes.
Councilmember Quer-Stallings.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo.
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo.
Yes. Okay, next we have the World Energy Community Benefits Agreement Year 1 Spending Plan. Can we please have the report?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we sure can. As part of the conditional use permit for the World Energy Conversion Project, We are entitled to $1 million per year for 5 years through a community benefits agreement. The money is to be used for projects and programs that will benefit our community, as the name says. The agreement was recently signed, and we have a list of some really neat projects and programs for this first year. And our planning director, John Carver, will now walk you through the item. John?
Thank you, John. Madam Mayor and council members. This item is a request to approve the Year 1 spending plan for the World Energy Community Benefits Agreement. In April of 2022, the council approved the World Energy Refinery Conversion Project, which will allow for the production of renewable jet and other fuels. After the conversion is complete, the refinery will no longer be able to produce petroleum-based products. As part of the conversion project, the city and World Energy entered into the CBA, which has a contribution from World Energy of $1 million a year for a minimum of 5 years. We're proposing a wide range of community programs and projects for Year 1 of the CBA. These programs and projects will be handled by the Community Services Department, Public Works Department, and the Planning Department. In community services, programs will include free summer swim for Paramount residents and free youth sports registration. A new program is the Paramount Teen Leadership Program, or PTL. PTL is meant to be a supportive program that encourages volunteerism and the development of leadership skills for teens. 4 scholarships for post-high school education will also be awarded. And at the Mariposa Building in Spaney Park, another new program will be the Paramount Activity League, where on-site activities and excursions will be offered. Programs in Public Works will include tree maintenance and replanting. 2 electronic signs will be installed on Downey Avenue to warn travelers of approaching trains. This will allow vehicles to turn prior to getting stopped at a train crossing. Also proposed is the Climate Action Rebate Program that will offer $1,000 grants to residents who buy new electric vehicles, and $1,000 rebates will also be offered to upgrade an electrical panel and install a vehicle charger. Finally, in the Planning Department, $15,000 rebates will be offered to low to moderate income single-family homeowners to install solar panels and reinforce roofs if necessary. And here's a summary of each program and the department that will be responsible for those programs and projects. And it's recommended that you approve the Year 1 spending plan of the Community Benefits Agreement, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, John. Questions or comments from my colleagues?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The partial costs for senior after-hour events, what kind of events are you planning, John? Or
I'll turn that over to Yesenia.
Yes. Councilmember Stallings, one of the things that we've been incorporating at the Senior Center is doing Friday night activities and bringing them on Saturday mornings. Doing loteria, watching the news, watching novelas. We really realize that the seniors really like to gather together, so we're just incorporating more of those activities with their seniors.
I heard you had a quilting class occurring.
We do. We have a senior that really took the lead, and they enjoy it. We have sewing machines now as well. So incorporating a lot of those activities on Fridays and Saturday mornings.
Okay, and I also heard that there's a senior exercise class. I inquired this morning for one of my neighbors from 10 to 11.
Yes.
On Monday mornings. Are you planning to expand that class?
Yes, and we're actually moving over to the gym during the summer. We're going to start because the last meeting, I believe we showed the video with Ron, which is a volunteer that's been amazing with us. Our class has actually grown. So now moving that class over to the gym actually gives us double the seniors there. So we're excited. So hoping to do more of that, really just getting the interest of the seniors.
Yes, because apparently she said there was only 25 that
There
are allowed.
is.
And I guess she showed up one day and she wasn't allowed, so she was like a little disappointed.
Yes. So
That's
so
why
hopefully
she
moving on
inquired.
to the gym, we won't have any of that. We'll be able to
Okay.
accommodate all the seniors.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate that.
And Adrian Landa's going to start teaching the class with Ron as well, right, Adrian?
Okay, Adrian. I look forward to that. Okay, I'll move the item.
Second. Roll call, Heidi, please.
Councilmember Lemons?
Yes.
Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Of course.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo?
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so we're almost done. So next item is approval of the service agreement with Southwest Patrol, Inc. for park supervision and security services. May we please have the report?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Having safe parks is definitely extremely important to this city council. As you know, we hired a private security company last year to patrol our parks. The service we're receiving can honestly be better. So therefore, we are recommending a change in the provider that handles this service for us. Also, we'll be recommending expansion of the service hours for next fiscal year, which will be part of the budget. So with that, I'll turn it over to our Assistant Director of Community Services, Yesenia Guillen, to walk you through the item. Yesenia?
Thank you, John. Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, we're requesting Council's approval to enter into a new agreement with a private security company for park supervision services. COVID definitely impacted our staffing levels, as you're aware, proving to be difficult to securing reliable and mature staff to work park supervision in the evenings and weekends. To remedy this, staff explored contracting the services out to a private security company. At the May 3rd, 2022 City Council meeting, Council approved a pilot program with superior protection of park patrols, customer service, and making contact at the parks, taking over the hours that staff would have normally done while doing the service of park supervision. Currently, the private security company opens and closes the school fields for the city's recognized independent youth leagues, turn on field lights, close restrooms, and at the end of the night, reports any unlawful activities at the parks, like graffiti, and provides customer service for park patriots, like insurance or shelter reservations, especially on the weekends, are being served. Overall, it has helped to alleviate the staff issues by providing a private security company to do park supervision, and has helped to deter any unwanted activity at the park by having a uniform presence. However, after a year review, staff is now recommending entering into a new contract with a different private security firm to continue the high level of service in Paramount. Staff contacted colleagues of other cities to inquire if they were familiar with the private security company they recommended. Colleagues in the city of Bellflower and Lakewood both highly recommended Southwest Patrol. Staff contacted Southwest Patrol to inquire about their services and ensure they were the best fit for the city and the department needs. As you see in the photos, their vehicle and their uniform really have a professionalism and has the authority that we are needing here. After talking with Southwest Patrol, staff is requesting that we take over the current level of staff of service being provided to the city, which entails Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m., and our Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. There will be a slight increase to the overall budget for park supervision services, less than $1,500 through the end of June. As part of FY 2023-24 budget, we will be recommending to expand the hours of Southwest Patrol so that there is more presence at city parks. But for now, Southwest would just be taking over the current level of service being provided by the formal private security company. And with that, it is recommended that the City Council approve the service agreement with Southwest Patrol for park supervision and security services. And that concludes my presentation, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Yesenia. Do we have any questions or comments?
I have one question, Madam Mayor. Do we have a contract? Is it month to month with the other security company, or what?
We actually did a pilot, so we did have a year contract, and we're arriving to that. So there's been proper notification with the previous superior protection, and really reevaluated that they weren't meeting up to our needs, and we're really unhappy with a lot of things that was happening.
When is their contract expired?
At the end of this month.
End of this month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
No.
Move the item.
Okay, can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lemons?
Yes.
Councilmember Quer Stallings?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Delgadillo?
Yes.
Mayor Aguayo?
Yes. Okay, last item on the agenda for the evening is an oral report, building and safety update. Can we please get a staff report?
Yes, Madam Mayor, as you so eloquently mentioned earlier, our building safety team is top notch. They're very busy, they're professional, and they're really there to help. Sometimes building safety is looked upon kind of as onerous and getting in the way of people wanting to make changes to their property. But that's not what we're here for. We're there for everyone's safety. So we thought we'd bring this item to you to kind of give you an update once again and hear from the professionals as to what they do on a day-to-day basis and how meaningful their work is. So with that, I'll turn it over to our building safety manager, Johnny Reitmer. Johnny?
Thank you, John. Honorable Mayor, City Council. Thank you. It was just appropriate to give you an update of what building does. Typically, building is known for just issuing permits, doing the inspections and plan checks, keeping the city safe, like you mentioned earlier, by enforcing the California Building Code, monitoring for unpermitted construction, and maintaining records for future use and assisting other departments with that information. But what makes Paramount different? And I'm happy to say, and it's not just because my department or my division,
Johnny,
but
do you want to move your slides forward?
Oh. Thank you. But what makes Paramount different, I believe, is our approach. And so, we care about the growth of the city. We strive to provide solutions, not problems. We find ways to for compliance while keeping the project moving forward. And for me, this one really touches my heart deeply because I was in construction for many years, and customer service was huge for me, and it helped me to be successful in my career. And so to be able to offer that here at the building department is really important. And our willingness to work with people that have started to work with permits. It's very, very common that construction gets started without the proper permits for their work. And it doesn't matter how big the job is, and it doesn't matter how small it is. People are always starting work. And they're starting work because there's a need for it. And so we see that, and we want to accommodate that. We just want them to have the proper permits for that. And what the other thing that we're doing is in growing, and I'm really proud of, is our advancements and what we're doing to keep up with the times. Online plan check submittal for digital plan checks is a big thing right now. Developing a cloud-based storage system, we have tons of documentations that need to be sent out for public records requests, and we're trying to achieve having it in one location. Finding ways, didn't do the other one. Online application, permit process, and payments makes it a lot easier for the applicants to obtain the proper permits. Creating a paperless interaction between our inspectors and our contractors, not writing handwritten corrections, and being able to have access to that corrections no matter where you're at on your phone or on your device. We also just got a grant, accepted a grant for the solar app that we're hoping to have started up in August. That will take care of plan checks and permit issuance. That's going to make some time in our office for our permit techs to really focus on some of the other things. Because of all these other advancements that we're working on, it really does take a big demand on the permit tech. So we're really excited about that new app that's coming our way. Here's a couple of highlights. I know you guys, this is a small town, so we get to drive around and see a lot of things going on. But this is one of the highlights of my job here. I'm really happy with what we've done here at the KFC. It's gone on really fast. But we've, just a little demonstration of what we're doing and what we're doing with other departments is that we've allowed this contractor to move forward while some of those plans are being revised. As construction goes on, you'll see that it doesn't always match up what's on paper and what's on site. So things change, and just utilizing experience and knowledge of construction really makes a difference and makes it possible to be able to provide that type of a service to a contractor. We worked very closely with the planning department to accommodate the need for the utilities to be turned on a little bit earlier. And we were also able to work with public safety on an encroachment issue. One of the neighbors here had an awning that was going over the property line, and so public safety was on it and really took care of that situation, and they were able to remove the awning off the property line. A couple other highlights, we really like to keep business in Paramount, so businesses are growing, businesses need to be updated. And so what we're doing is El Pollo Loco is a great example of just updating lighting in restrooms. We do a lot of that. McDonald's is not too far behind them. They're in the plan check process of updating their place. This other one in the middle, it's called J1. They manufacture food and different things. And so for them to close down shop to do any kind of improvements, it really cost them a lot of money. And so what they've done is they had a huge solar project going on top of that building. And so there was a time where the power had to be shut off, where Edison was going to come in and turn off the power. And the only time that they can get that done was on a Friday night at 11 o'clock at night. And that Friday night actually happened to be Cesar Chavez Day. And so it was a holiday. And we had an inspector, Dan Martin, go out there and do an inspection at 11 o'clock at night, which was his day off anyways. So that's the type of service that we're looking at providing and giving to the community here. We are definitely staying on top of the ADUs. Here's another picture of some of the ADUs that we have going on. There's a big demand for that. On the bottom there, you'll see one of the projects on Somerset. To the left was the before and to the right is the after. But there's a big demand. We are really, really busy. We're getting tons of submittals every week, and which causes a lot of inspections and a lot of interaction with the permit techs for via email and different ways to keep these projects moving. And then we still have things that are in the making. I know that you guys are driving around town and you're seeing different things happening here. We have the Go Storage. Go Store It. I'm pretty excited about that. We issued a permit for grading, so if you drive down Minnesota now, you'll see them moving tons of dirt. We got the Terramia that is going on slowly, but it's going. Yeah, we'll eventually be able to have some of those fantastic pastries. And then we have the senior living mixed use. Everybody's excited to see this one happening. It's starting to get demoed right now. There's a lot of things that are happening. With an older building like this, they have asbestos and different things that are there that can be dangerous. So right now they are removing that stuff and getting certain clearances before they demo that building. That's just another way that we're keeping Paramount safe from different chemicals and things like that that can be exposed to. So with that, I believe that is my presentation. So I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, you can tell that, this is your thing, You
transmitted
that excitement.
Thank you.
Do my colleagues have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you.
Great
So
report.
that's also an oral report, so there's no action needed. And we don't have anything for our environmental sustainability section tonight. So we're going to go ahead and just go on to council member comments and committee reports. And we're going to start with council member Lemons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I attended the Contract Cities Conference in Indian Wells, and we had several speakers. I particularly enjoyed the public safety event that was moderated by our own council member Olmos and featured Sheriff Luna and the captain from the Beverly Hills Police Department. What I took away from that particular class was technology, technology, technology. That's the whole future. That's the best way that we can move about improving public safety and aiding our officers in the very dangerous job that they do. And I'm hoping that as we plan for the future, we can't do what Beverly Hills does, as most people there said, but I think there's some baby bites that we can take out of that, and I hope that we move towards that in the future. Also, we heard from several supervisors that were there talking about partnerships with the county, and of course, one of the major topics was homelessness and access to funds and partnerships and services, and so they highlighted those things for us, and then a speaker from Amazon who kind of gave an inspirational talk on innovation and broad thinking and how to get there. So overall, there were some valuable lessons there and some great opportunities to network with the people throughout the region. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Councilmember Claire Stallings.
Yes. Okay, it's been a very busy 2 weeks. My colleagues and I attended the Community Family Guidance Center. They had a benefit dinner. Several of the council members were attended and also staff. And it was a very, very nice evening. It was nice to see other city officials and attendants from other cities. And our own councilwoman, Brenda Olmos, was one of the main, I have it written here, okay, master of ceremonies who welcome everyone from the community. And it was a very, very nice event. I had a wonderful time interacting with community members and also with other council members at that event. I also attended the Indian Wells conference, very informative. I've taken a lot of information in, and the same thing that Council Member Lemons informed you, there's a lot that we learned, a lot that we would like to do in our city too, but it takes a lot of money and funds. So hopefully in the near future that money will come. And also attended the Paramount Women's Club. They gave 3 scholarships to Paramount Unified School graduates for 2023. Congratulations to those 3 young ladies, and I wish them nothing but the best. And also attended briefly the tacos with the deputies and at Northgate. It was a great success. It was great to see so many seniors and other residents enjoying tacos and having a conversation with our deputy sheriffs. Thank you all to the deputies and city staff that did everything, and Northgate. Thank you very much for engaging in our community and inviting our residents. And last, I had a couple of questions from residents, John. One resident inquired, I was passing out information regarding our new, hopefully August 5th, we're having a Paramount Pride Parade, and a resident seen me, she crossed the street, and she said, Señora Vilma? I said, yes, ¿cómo le puedo ayudar? And she informed me, she wants to know, what's going on with the water well on Garfield and Jackson Street. Because she says that she sees people working, she told me in Spanish, in construction, but she doesn't see the water being produced. And when was the water going to be working?
Sarah?
Those were her words.
Yeah. Sarah, you want to provide an update on that?
We're still working our hardest to get Well 16 up online. There's a few things that we're working through. I don't really have a good hard date to give you right now, but we'll definitely get back to you with that.
Okay. I think it's important to note, wasn't that a planned 10-year project when it started?
$10 million, and it's been about 10 years since we first acquired the property.
So she hasn't seen construction for a very long time, but we knew that in the outset.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Okay, I'll inform her about that. And then she was just very, very appreciative of all the city staff and public works going out there and doing the potholes. She said she seen the video, and Parks and Recreation's really been helping her grandkids. So she was very happy, had a big smile in her face, and just very, very happy with everything that's going on in Paramount and all the social media. So thank you to all the staff. Okay, in behalf of the Señora Garcia. Okay, that's my report.
Okay, Vice Mayor Delgadillo.
I'm sorry. Madam Mayor, I also attended the Paramount Women's Club with my colleague here for the scholarship luncheon. And this year there were 4 high school winning recipients. That's okay. Karen Duenas, Diana Martinez, Kimberly Alvarez, and Giselle Garcia. Congratulations, recipients. All the best to you on your college adventure, and have fun and make the most of it. My some of them are attending Cal State Long Beach, my former alma mater. Anyway, I attended Tacos with the Deputy and met more of our supportive community. Thank you, Gonzales Market, for supporting our deputies and Paramount. Then, along with my colleagues, I attended the California Contract Cities Conference in Indian Wells, and the conference theme was Preserving Our Past, Innovating Our Present, and Imaging Our Future. And also, congratulations are in order to our council member Brenda Olmos for taking the oath of Secretary Treasurer, which means in 2 years, council member Olmos will be president of California Contract Cities. And I'm so happy she will be following on the footsteps of my sister, former Contract City President, Diane Martinez. Go, Brenda, even though you're not here, yay. And that concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, so I do have a few things for my colleagues that are not part of the ad hoc committee. So one of the big things that we discussed was just key points that we want to discuss. A big one is safety, of course, at that joint, I don't know, I want to call it conference, summit, meeting, I'm not sure what to call it right now, where we're going to join with our partners at the school district to, just discuss some of these things. So that's in the works. I'm really excited about what's to come out of that, because we definitely are partners in this. I was also at Eco Rapid, and I know I'm going to have more information to come after our next meeting, but it's definitely moving forward. I know we had some concerns. So it's great to see, I keep going in there and saying, we still have these concerns. We still have these concerns. So to see that a plan is coming together not just our, here in Paramount, but the other cities that belong to this organization, it's really reassuring to see, okay, this is step one, this is step two, and this is how we're going to go about doing it. The biggest thing that has come out of that right now is that the metro's coming. It is coming. We can work together, not just our city, but all of us that are going to be affected by it, so that we have the best of, everything we need for our communities to be safe when the metro comes through here, and also to make sure that it looks nice, that it's maintained. I know Councilmember Mullins and I, we've kind of talked about, just making sure it looks clean. So, there's a lot of good stuff coming through there. So I'm going to be happy to report back on that. The Community Guidance Benefit Dinner, it's great to see so many people come together. It was a sold-out event. So many people come together for such an important cause. So I don't know how much they raised, but it was sold out. And I was also Women's Club, Tacos with a Deputy. I don't know. I think when David Johnson, when I see him, I'm going to say, maybe we should change that. When we were talking about coffee with the mayor, I don't know. I'm thinking tacos. I don't know, but we might go that route. But we'll see. It really was great, to be out there. And I do have a shout out to Lincoln School. I was out there for their teacher appreciation event that they did. So it was just really nice, to get those calls and say, hey, why don't you come and join us? So that was great. Contract Cities, the session on safety was, for me, it was probably, they were all great, but to me, that's the one that really just kind of always resonates, keeping our community safe. And it was so interesting to see what Beverly Hills is doing. And okay, how can we bring something like that to Paramount? We're not Beverly Hills, but we want our residents safe. So maybe starting to look into, those technologies. How can we help our deputies? And that was one of the keys. They're doing all these things, and it's to help their deputies, to keep their residents safe. So it'd be great to just kind of, start putting that out there, start thinking about it. And, last thing that I have, and I'm listening to all of the staff reports and just my colleagues and everybody, how we really have the best, and I don't want to say staff, but the best team in Paramount, and it shows. So thank you to all the departments and everybody in those departments, because we cannot do what we do without you guys. And I don't think we get tired of saying it. You are really thank you for what you do. You are appreciated. With that, Is there any staff comments, City Manager?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Just to piggyback on what you had said, thank you for those comments. They are wonderful, and they do a fantastic job day in and day out. So they're wonderful, wonderful to work with and to lead. So I'm very proud of them. So thank you for that. The next thing I want to discuss, what was mentioned at the conference, at the California Contract Cities Association conference, was the innovation that Beverly Hills has brought to the table, and obviously they have the money to afford a lot of that. We do have a few of those things. We have the flock cameras. So I will be discussing with our public safety director on how to better utilize those possibly to get a lot better use out of them. Maybe deploying them in different areas or having them, because that's what Beverly Hills has. They have the same cameras that we have. So maybe there's a way that we can do that. So we'll definitely be looking at that. Yeah, monitoring. Exactly. That's the key. That is definitely the key. Next I have is Dine Paramount Week. We're right in the heart of it. It started on Monday and it goes all the way through Friday. We are giving away $50 gift cards to different restaurants. It's been very successful. The gift cards sell out in minutes, right, Pauline? They're barely there, and we get a lot of comments on social media. They're already gone, darn it! And so you have to sign up quick. So if you want those gift cards, so. And lastly, Memorial Day is this Monday. City Hall and City Yard will be closed, and the Paramount substation will be open from 8 to 5. And that concludes comments from staff.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. And with that, we will adjourn this meeting to a meeting on June
13th.
Oh, June 13th. June 13th.
At 6 o'clock p.m., and that one will be at Progress Park Plaza.
Thank you, Heidi. Have a good night, everyone.
Wonderful.